I'm DJ Potential, and this is Put in Work TV. I'm out.
Word. Alright. DJ Potential, welcome to Put in Work TV. We've enjoyed watching your journey and growth as an artist in the New England music scene and really want to hear more about your story. Our focus is allowing our guests to tell their stories front and center without judgment or opinion. Let's dive in.
Okay.
So how did it all begin?
Well, I'm a DJ. I'm a DJ who also has a networking company. And I guess it just started kind of back in school when I was in college. And I would usually attend, a lot of parties because, around just growing up, my culture and stuff like that, I used to go to a lot of Caribbean, kind of Boston scene parties, the carnival, if you will. You know what I mean? So I was always tapped into that type of scenery. And then when I continued to college, of course, I would continue to go to college parties, the clubs, and other Caribbean scenes and stuff like that. And I guess DJ kind of came a part of that when I kind of got tired of going to those same old parties with not the same old DJs, you know what I'm saying? It's a different perspective now that I am a DJ, but back then at the time, I was just tired of going to their parties and stuff like that, the same old DJs, stuff like that. So I decided to become one myself and see how hard or easy it would be for me. And of course, people at times would tell me, "Oh, you would be a great DJ." I would just do YouTube stuff, YouTube playlists at a little dorm party or something like that. They'd be like, "Yo, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? You know how to select music. Like, maybe you should actually pick it up and try it." And so that's what I did. I tried it. I got a mixer, like sophomore, junior year, and just started practicing. And you can, like, my boys would just be in the room and they'd just be like, "What are you doing?" I'm just practicing, just trying it out, trying to figure it out. And then I just picked it up, just started loving to do it. And I just downloading music every day, especially with a oversaturated music industry in 2022. Like, this music coming out every day. Now, for me, you know what I'm saying, you could look at it as a bad thing or you could look at it as a good thing. It depends who you're talking to. My days are both, you know what I'm saying? It's bad and good for me, but it's good when I'm downloading so many new music, whether it's Afrobeats, R&B, rap, you know what I'm saying, local artists, international artists, people right here, people in New York. It's amazing, and it's a world full of music is how I see it, and you're never going to end, so there's always something to work on. There's always more music to download, and, once I became a DJ, I figured why not do events, and that's how Too Lit came into a thing, and then I built it up, my own team. 2019, we had our first event, which is a basketball tournament, which was really, really successful. We ended up partnering up with a city councilor, and she provided mad resources that helped us out big, and we were able to grab what she put on to us and just the resources that we had and create that into one, and it was just an amazing, amazing time. And from there, the few people that I selected to help me do that tournament, we decided to make it into a company. So from there on in, it was just events, DJing, trying to create different spaces for people to come through and resource from each other, really.
I really want to hear about your experience because, like, relatively, this is what you said inspired you to start DJing. Like, What is the experience of going to a Boston party, like, you know what I'm saying? And, like, just even New England, not even just Boston, you feel me? Because people go to parties everywhere. What was that like for you?
For me, it was cookout burgers, reggae music, you know what I'm saying, and just beautiful, like, just the family community, you know what I'm saying? Like, no matter where you went, especially the Honduran community. I'm from, like, my parents are from Honduras. I was born here, but we rep Honduras real hard over here. And if you're Honduran in the city of Boston, like, the community is real small. So if I don't know you, I know someone who know you, you know what I'm saying? But we're all essentially always linking up, doing cookouts, and just listening to various different music. The Honduran background, we listen to Spanish music. A lot of people be like, "Oh, you're Spanish." Like, they just so shocked when they hear me speak Spanish because, I'm dark skinned. So, and, like, Honduras is also a part of the Caribbean Festival because of, I ain't gonna get into the history of that, but that's a whole nother ball game. So you can imagine the last thing people expect to come out of my mouth is a Spanish word, but we listen to all types of different music when you go to these parties, so that kind of throws people off as well. Like, you're Honduran, but you're listening to this, and that. But I love it, you know what I'm saying? The Boston scene parties, it's always been, like, the same for me, but it's always been fun. Something I can do legit almost every weekend.
Say that. When did you first start going to parties?
When I was outside. like family stuff, but like family stuff that would kind of a little bit adult rated, but like I would say like 14, 15 down. And then like when it's really like when I really started doing my own thing, it was probably like college, like towards the end of high school, college. It was when I really started just going crazy myself. Like I would go out to these parties by myself, no family, no nothing. It would just be me and my boys or whatever the case may have you. So it was kind of two different scenes of parties, whether it was like family, but now it's just got college, girls, you know, the whole 9 yards.
So when you first started, like what equipment did you start off with, and what programs were you using? And like, what was that like learning on those things?
So now, I mean, when I was learning, I was a big studier, researcher type guy of a DJ. So you know, I would ask around all the DJ friends I currently had and what they would be using, and I ended up starting with it's a controller board called SB2 Serato Pioneer. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of basically the beginner's board for most DJs out here, I would say. Outside of like, you know, back in the day, if you was real back in the day, virtual DJing your laptop. I never got to that. I never did that stage because it was past my time already. So I just grabbed the board. I just grabbed my basic laptop, and I downloaded, you know, the software, Serato, whatever the case may have you. And, you know, from there, it was just practice. And it was a passion for me, so I loved it. So for me, it wasn't really practice. It was just doing what I love to do. And then I just eventually got good enough to where, you know, I felt like I can, you know, do other actual events, professional events, and people hit me up with all types of different stuff now. Like, now I'm just recently started to get hit up for weddings. Like, I just did my first wedding, like, a couple weeks ago, and that was amazing. You know what I'm saying? It was outside. It was a beautiful African wedding. And, you know, now I'm just taking my services to another level, you know?
Talk to me about how, like, you know, you learned. Well, let me know if you scratch as a DJ. Not to be just, I don't know nothing about DJs. Nah. So, like, how scratching go for you? Tell me how important is it to when you DJ? And,
So, scratching is definitely a skill that is something I'm trying to put in my arsenal as we speak. Am I terrible at it? Absolutely not, because I've heard terrible, and I ain't that. But am I great at it, or am I where I want to be? Am I the best Joel scratcher that I can be? Absolutely not. And this is what I'll tell you. Like, I've spoken to some people, like even my peers who inspire me as far as that specific technique, that specific skill in this industry. They're like, bro, like, you don't need it. Like, you're fine without it. Like, I hear that time and time again, but like I said to you before, like, this is the passion for me. So as far as scratching, I'm not where I want to be at, but it's definitely something I want to add to my arsenal. Although I do know it's not necessary, because I've gotten this far without being able to scratch a damn thing. People love the way I, like, no, I mean, I don't, you know what I'm saying? I try to be as humble as I can. But people often come tell me, like, you're a great DJ, and they ain't never brought up a damn thing about scratching. Yeah. Scratching is something that I want to learn because I'm a DJ, you know? You always want to find a different goal to get better. And scratching is where I'm lacking at, so that's where I'm really just trying to get better. But is it necessary as a DJ? Absolutely not.
What would you describe, or like, out of all the parties that you DJ'd at, you know what I'm saying, what was like the best party that you've been at that you feel like you did the best at?
That I feel like I did the best at?
Yeah.
Did I feel like I did the best? I mean, I look at every party, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm about to go kill shit. Like, that's how it is for every party. So, like, I could say a couple different parties I feel like I did my thing at, but I'll tell you one better. I say a party that I feel like gave me a turnover as far as, like, career-wise. Like, all right, people started hitting me up now that they seen me do this party. And I would say it was this party in 2000, I think it was 2019, another one of those college parties, but it wasn't at my college. Shout out to Bridgewater. I went to Bridgewater, but it was not at Bridgewater. It was actually at UMass Amherst. It was an after party at a big mansion. Shout out to my boy Handy. It was his party. And it started at like 2 a.m. in the morning. I kid you not. So, me and my boy, we're driving from Bridgewater to Amherst. Anyone knows that's like a 2-hour drive solid, maybe even a little bit more. We're driving over there. Mind you, the party I think starts at like 12. You know, because they start their parties pretty late. If you got your own crib out there, especially the way this dude had it set up, it's a whole mansion. You know what I'm saying? Do what the fuck you want. For those who went to Bridgewater, it's a D3 experience compared to a D1. You know what I'm saying? It makes them that much of a difference in the sense of, like, especially with UMass Amherst, the population is just huge. The space is huge. It's like its own freaking town. So we're heading over there. We're clearly going to be late. I'm thinking, you know, it's probably going to be a wrap. I get a call from my guy. He's like, yo, bro, where you at? we got 200 people sitting here waiting for you. And it's like 1:30 while I'm on the road. I'm like, 200 people? You got 200 people in the house right now. Stop lying. You're capping. I get there. I open the door. The man is not lying. Everybody's like, oh, you finally came. I'm like, yo, this man got 200 people in the mansion at 2 a.m. in the morning, ready to, like, activated. Like, not tired, ready to go home, activated like they just getting here. We partied till 6 a.m. in the morning. That's because it got shut down. These people wanted to keep going, you know what I'm saying? Mind you, this dude has a mansion, so if you go up to the stairs, his room is a VIP section. His room can fit, I kid you not, like 20 people to sleep in. Like, if you go out in third world country, we could fit like 30 people in there. You know what I'm saying? So it's a pretty big room for just one person. But he has it VIP style. So you got bottles in the middle, girls on his bed, little couches over here, big old closet with douche. Crazy. Like, you would have thought it was a club in a mansion. You know what I'm saying? And after that party, what I can really tell you is I got hit up for so many private gigs after that. I started making a lot more money, and it was a turning point for me in that aspect. So if I'm going to say I did the best at any part, I definitely did the best at that one, for sure.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Fucking talk to me about Too Lit, though. You know what I'm saying? What inspired you to start Too Lit? What does it represent? What does it mean? What's your mission? All that.
Well, you know, Too Lit is just something that, it was honestly like a gang name for me and my brother. Me and my brother Kev in like 2016 or something. It was just like me and him were always together. When you see him, you see me. When you see me, you will see him. And, you know, at the time, I feel like there was little cliques and stuff. Not like gangs, but cliques. Like, gang as in, this is my friend. We go out, you see us everywhere. You feel me? Together. And we was in the car one day, lit as fuck, you know what I'm saying? Little light, you know what I'm saying? And we was like, yo, we got to come up with a gang name for ourselves. What's people going to formally know us as? And Too Lit came about. And then, like I said, it was just a gang name for me and him. Eventually, it started into doing little quotes because me and him, I love inspirational quotes. So I started putting quotes on shirts. Too Lit logo. He made me a logo. It was something simple. I'm like, yo, I rock with it. Started using it. Didn't think much of it. It was just to make my own clothes because I like quotes and I like making my shirts. So I would do that while I was in college. People started gravitating. So I'm like, yo, can I buy a shirt? Can I buy a shirt? I'm like, yeah. I mean, I don't see why not. I'm just doing this for myself. So I don't have to go buy a $40 polo shirt. I can just buy a Primark, print it on it. $5. You know what I'm saying? But once people started gravitating towards it, you know what I'm saying, I figured, you know, I got to do something with it. Maybe make a fashion clothing designing company. Then I'm like, nah, that would actually be a lot of work. I got to do something else with it. Then at the time, all this is manifesting. You know, my boys are like, yo, let's throw an event. Let's throw something. We ended up coming up with a basketball tournament. So I combined those together. And I was like, why not do events? I'm a DJ. Why not do events? And I have a team now of dudes willing to put in their time and prioritize this. Why not do events and, you know, try to create different spaces where people can come and resource from each other. So that's what basically Too Lit's about. If you, like, my favorite quote is me lit plus you lit equals Too Lit. You know what I'm saying? Because two brains has always been better than one. Like, no matter where you, like, I don't know, and what, you know what I'm saying? All around Earth, two brains has always been better than one, you know what I'm saying? So for me, it's always been like, and we never had, like, all the resources to get up and just start business and get up and do this entrepreneurship and get up and do all this. So I was just like, I feel like Boston could really be put on if people change their mindset and know that working together, we will succeed way further. You know what I'm saying? I was like, how can I interpret that through events? How can I interpret that through what I'm doing? And I was like, I got to create, the goal is right now to create 12 different events, so 12 different spaces where, you know what I'm saying, whether it be a party, whether it be a yoga class, whether it be, these are the events we have. We have a basketball tournament, a trap bingo, and a paint and sip. Those are what we have so far, and then we're working on a party next. So those are 4 different spaces, essentially, that you can meet tons of different people where you can network or you can resource from them. You know what I'm saying? Or, of course, we're going to do, like, financial literacy classes and stuff like that. So I just want to create 12 different spaces, you know what I mean? So where people can resource from, because I feel like the Boston mindset, it's catching up. We're not there yet, but it is a kind of like do it on your own. I feel like it's always been like that, especially in certain industries, always been doing on your own. And it kind of meshed me. That's why I do a lot on my own, but I always knew, like, receiving help was always better. So, like, for me, it was like, I got a lot done by myself. I got a lot more done with other people. And that was basically what Too Lit's about and what it's continuing to be about. And we're going to create doing events and spaces to where people can come and meet other people, to where they can build relationships and really see what they can do for each other.
Awesome. So tell me what your first event was like. You told me you did a basketball tournament. How'd that happen?
Yeah, so we my boy was actually the one who brought it up. My boy Stiz, he said he wanted to do some type of event, and I forget how we ended up coming up with deciding a basketball event, but I ended up getting the rest of my boys. So it's me, Stiz, Bobby, CJ, and my one boy. All these guys, these first 3 guys, they all went to Bridgewater with me, and then my last guy is Kevin. He did not go. That's my brother. He didn't go to Bridgewater with us. He went to Fitchburg, but he also helped us with this. He was the one recording behind the camera who made the video. And so once we decided to do it, we knew CJ was a part of, we knew he worked in the city and that he had resources and that he could help with that. We knew I was a DJ. We knew that Stiz and Bobby were teachers at the time or preparing to be teachers at the time, so they knew a lot of kids. They knew a lot of people in the area that can play basketball, and I wanted to play basketball and create teams. So we all had a role in that, and then essentially we all decided what the role was. We was like, all right, we can go and move forward and execute the plan. Again, we got the permits.
Yo, I need a little quieter, like just whisper for real. Like, yeah.
No, you good, bro.
Run it.
So, we got the permit. Everyone had their roles. Okay, everyone had their roles. And coming up to the date, we getting ready. We're getting all the materials. We decided that we're collabing with a city councilor by the name of Andrea J. Campbell, who decided to help us with plenty of resources and actually show up to the actual event. So the day of, we get there, and there's actually a team from Connecticut who was doing a free backpack giveaway at the time at the park that we already have a permit at. This is where Too Lit comes into its full circle. So we don't know them from a hole in the wall. They don't know us from a hole in the wall. We have the permit for the entire park. I'm thinking what are we gonna do? How are we gonna break the news to them that we gotta kick them out, whatever the case is. CJ comes in and is like, yo, bro, why don't we just tell them let's collab each event and let's try to make it work. They have a team of kids who are performing, doing dances, and they have a bunch of book bags ready to give away. We're having a basketball tournament with a bunch of kids. We have a bouncy house, we have ice cream, we have book vendors, we have everything else. So we're like, all right, why don't we give them our audience, in a sense where we'll have them the kids perform for our audience, you know what I'm saying? And then they can have a free book bag giveaway for all the kids that are coming from the neighborhood as well. So if they have more than enough book bags to give to everybody, give it, whoever wants one, so to speak. We ended up talking to them about the idea. They're like, we love it. And it ended up working so beautifully to have 2 different teams come together, not even know each other from a hole in the wall, and work together. And this is why I say 2 brains has always been better than 1. Because you look back at the videos, you see a bunch of kids having an amazing time, whether they're from Connecticut, whether they're from Boston. You see a bunch of people connecting with each other, building relationships. And to this day, people talk to us about that tournament, how we brought a bunch of people from the community, a bunch of new people they never knew from, and just had a great time, you know what I'm saying? And that really inspired the team, essentially, to turn the entire thing into a company. It was like, yo, we got to do more events. We got to create this space. We got to create this environment for everybody in different types of different ways, you know what I'm saying? And that's what really got us inspired to do so. But yeah, as you know, 2 brains is always better than 1. Me lit plus you lit is 2 lit. You hear me?
Wow. So you do a network. Well, you have a networking company.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Too Lit, and so we're in the city of Boston. But more importantly than that, we're in New England, and it's full of artists. So I really want to hear your perspective on just artists in the New England scene and your company's impact on them.
Well, as far as artists in the New England scene, I feel like we have just a few that gotten up, that's made it mainstream, that give us a little love from here and there. They can't do it all by themselves, because they the ones that made it out and stuff. All they can do is pass the ladder. That's how I kind of look at it. They can pass the ladder. Everyone else, we got to work to get to that ladder. And they can't carry our limbs for us, basically. You know what I'm saying? The local artists, I know a few of them. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, if we had a bigger market, artists wouldn't feel as though they needed to leave in order to grow, but they do, and I don't blame them for that. I feel like if Boston had a better mindset as far as community sense, if getting more people to work together, artists, labels, producers and things like that, I feel like we would be a lot better off creating this market right here for us. That way we don't have to leave, go nowhere, go to LA, come back, and we can stay right here and do this right here. So this is my take on the Boston music scene. There's a bunch of artists I can name right now that I'm rocking with, but you know what I'm saying? That is what it is.
I feel like my last question for you, one of my last questions for you, what's it like being a DJ? Like, what does a DJ actually do? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I've never like heard of a DJ, and like, what do you feel like is the most important thing that you do when you're DJing?
Control the vibe. Like, that's the most important thing. Like, you gotta control the vibe. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could be skill wise the worst DJ. I don't care. Like, but if you know how to read the vibe, like you know how to read the crowd and respond to the crowd, you should be like, for the most part, you should be straight. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the main part of what a DJ does. You know what I'm saying? But when you look back to the old, term, a disc jockey, you know what I'm saying? Vinyl, scratching, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but it's come a long way from modern times. Like now, I see people who, like, producers are DJs, are technically considered DJs. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of different like terms, and like DJ is just an umbrella, and there's a bunch of different things that fall under it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's definitely something a lot more general that has a bunch of different actions and stuff that you can do to be considered a DJ. But the main one is just control of the vibe. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you can't control the vibe, my boy, you know what I'm saying? Practice. But if you can't figure it out, my boy, then I said figure something else out to do. Personally, that's how I really, you know what I'm saying, take it.
I feel like, do you have any last words or advice for the people who put in work TV? Thank you so much.
What I'm telling people, man, whatever you want to do in life, whatever your goals are in life, just know that, help, like, two brains is better than one. So don't ever try to feel like you got to do something by yourself. There's always someone that's going to be willing to help you. Just got to reach out and open your mouth. With closed mouths do not get fed, my boy. So I just say, you know what I'm saying, always find someone, another person, another team, you know what I'm saying, to help you with whatever goals that you have in life. And, just know that you'll get there a lot faster if you do.
Yo, thank you so much.
No problem, guys.